All right, folks, sorry about that. The live stream decided to delete every single one of my camera modes. But as you guys can see right now, we are in round robin 2 of 8 for the Fairview IT Management Cup Series, one of our sponsors for the Four Crowns here out of Owensboro and Bowling Green, Kentucky. So if you guys didn't hear that before, as you've seen, there was a view of me. I had to take a small break here to get the cars teched, and then we had some newcomers coming in, checking out the track, wanting to know some more things about it. By the time I got back over here, there wasn't even a camera on this thing. It was literally just me on there. So I had to shut the whole stream down and bring it back up. But a special thanks to our sponsors, Fairview IT Management and Livermore Subway, for sponsoring the Four Crowns, adding an extra 2,000 to the purse here at Lanes Raceway. And of course, Lanes Raceway is going to match that in track bucks for a total purse of $4,000 for this 3-month excursion we call the Four Crowns. After this series is completed, we will be jumping right into our winter series, which is technically the same style racing that you're going to see coming up in April for the Flexi Challenge series here at Lanes Raceway. And if you haven't noticed, there's quite a few people here excited about coming down and racing in that race. And we're excited to have them, and we're super excited for that race to take place. So we got to get our guys ready to go because I want to see one of my guys win it. I'm not going to say they are, but at least we get one on the podium. I feel pretty good about it. Jay Latham right now in the lead in this Fairview IT Management Cup Series at 30 laps. Gabriel Kirtley there in second with 28. Glenn Burton 26 there in third. Guillermo Sire 24. Gunnar Vender 13 and Nathaniel 13. Making decent time right now. I think it's right at 4 o'clock here in Livermore, Kentucky. Yeah, 4:04. So we got this race and one more to go, and that's it for the day here at Lanes Raceway. Like I said, we're really trying to push it and get it through here, so the guys can get home to their Super Bowl parties and all that stuff. But chat is live right now for YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. If you guys want to jump in and join in on the conversation, we've had quite a big conversation here today about slot car racing, and a lot of hype and a lot of buzz around Lanes Raceway, at least in the past month here, to some degrees, even overwhelming buzz. So uh, we are thankful for that, and I'm thankful that I'm able to make it through sometimes. Sometimes it does get quite hectic, and you kind of see the true Donnie come out every once in a while, the one that I try to keep deep down that I don't really like at all, and that's the one that gets loud and mean occasionally. Haven't yet figured out how to fix that guy. James Deckard, I'm here again. Thank you, James. Man, I can count on you, James. James Deckard, big fan of Jason Howard in the RC series here. Now getting to be a big fan here for the slot car racing. Jay Latham right now, uh, our king of last year, possible runner for the king this year, even 35 laps there in first position right now. 33 for Gabriel in second, 29 for Guillermo in third, Glenn 26, 18 for Nathaniel, and 13 for Gunnar Vender. I dare not try to touch these and move them on. Now, of course, we'll do a full revamping of this live stream like we always do when we move into the next series. So I got a lot of work ahead of me come tomorrow. So I'm praying, and you guys pray for me, that I do not get sick this week because I got to disinfect this whole place from how many sick people's been here. I got to get things set up for a special type drag race series that we're going to end up having, and another drag race series we're going to call the list. We're going to try doing that, and then also next week to get set up to do the new series, which is a mimic of the Flexi Challenge series, and just to get the guys ready for that come April the 12th. And pretty much our winter series is going to end right at the first week of April. So that should come in perfect timing for these guys to be set up and ready for that. I got to also make a big order to get some of those motors and chassis and stuff like that ready for the guys coming in. And then Wednesday, I got a full day building and making these cars up before I'm back here Thursday to start it all over again. So I got to get this live stream set up for the winter series. And like I said, try to get some stuff worked out camera-wise for the drag strip as we enter into that series. Waiting on a monitor still for the drag strip to see that FPV, first-person view of those cars taking off, or I guess it would be third-person view of the cars taking off at the start-finish line. Nonetheless, it's good to have a lot of things work-wise to do and get prepared for to make it just a little bit more streamlined, a little bit better place and environment for the guys and gals. The biggest investment that I've had here lately wasn't really a lot of money, but I bought a dust mop that's like the ones that you uh, use to dust sweep like big gym floors. Man, that thing comes in clutch. I can get this whole place dusted and decently cleaned, ready for mopping within about 30 minutes, and that's the whole place. So that's pretty good. And then T comes behind me and she mops up the tough spots and stuff like that. So we're going to mix up some antibacterial, virus killing stuff, and we're going to mop the floors. I'm going to wipe the walls down this week. And, if Dad was feeling better, we was going to make some tables, but that may be on the next week agenda. But at least this week we start knocking a few things off. It should be pretty good. I'm also going to talk to the guys next week about whether or not for the next series they want me to clean the blue track, which I think right now it's just now coming into its own, really. So, we're just now starting to get a little bit of rubber laid down there in the corner, as you can see, and that does help them handle quite a bit. So maybe what we might do is just add a little bit of extra glue on the corners and clean the braid, and then be ready for the next series. Because the next series is all going to be ran on the flat track. And like I said, it's going to be a live track. So as you guys can see on this one, the track's getting paused. They're giving each other strikes and stuff like that. And they get 3 strikes, you're out type deal. Uh, but that's going to be gone. And I didn't even fire up the strike menu on this because I'm having such a hard time swapping between camera modes here. Because like I said, this whole thing needs to be dismantled all the way back to square one and redone again. Something that happens after we get a couple updates on it. Uh, it just needs to be redone. So just like all computers, if you've had them long enough, they all need to be redone and gone through and brought back to scratch one. We're going to be doing the same thing for our next winter series and the beginning of our 2025 season. But in the meantime, we still got some good racing here. Jay Latham's out in the lead by 2 laps. Gabriel Kirtley there in second. And Guillermo Sire there in third. Pretty close little race in between those guys. Glenn Burden not giving up, though. He's there up on red lane. A pretty tough lane to deal with there. So he's going to try to scratch his way up there. Get at Guillermo and Gabriel. Several people in the past week coming in about the 1RC cars and stuff we got going on here. But I was getting the question, can we put 1RC cars on consignment? And yes, yeah. So any kind of RC, anything that we do here at Lanes Raceway, you're more than welcome to put on consignment. It doesn't have to be fit into the display case like we do with our slot car stuff. That's just a convenient place for us to put it to keep, touching hands and prying eyes and stuff or messing with it. But if you would like to put your 1RC cars or whatever it may be on consignment to get you a newer 1RC car or whatever, yeah, by all means, please do. It helps Lanes Raceway. You don't know how much it helps, but it helps a lot when you guys use us to get your stuff sold. So, well, 20%, that ain't that much. I don't see how that's helping. Well, it helps a lot because then that's 20% of money that we can go to buy other stuff versus having to spend it on, let's say, a drag car or an RC car or something like that. We could be buying parts, we could be buying tires, we could be buying whatever with that extra bit of money and keeping these shelves and stuff stocked up for you so that when you do get here, you got plenty of stuff to choose from. John says, Happy Sunday, racers. Happy Sunday, John. Sunday is my favorite day of the week. It's my last day here at the track, and I get a little bit of time off just to kind of reflect on things and try to do things on Monday. But I love Sunday because of the big racing we have here. We have a lot of racing on Sunday. And I believe it's these guys' favorite day of the week too. Coming in here, getting do some hard racing with each other, beating and banging, hitting them door panels. Jay Latham currently in the lead by 4 laps to Gabriel Kirtley. Gabriel and Guillermo both tied, but looks like Gabriel's having some issues possibly with his car. I see him looking at a very tiny part in his hands. He just threw it in the trash. So I don't know. He might be suffering pretty hard here in this class. And this little race here has went pretty quick here already, round robin 3 of 8. Now I know I spent quite a bit of time trying to get this live stream fired back up, and if you can't tell, the old voice is starting to get a little bit raspy. This happens with me talking on in like this, plus the people around here with somewhat of a sickness going on. I'm just hoping it don't hit me. Hope it don't hit me. I don't ever like being sick. I hate it. But I am curious, what is it? Super Bowl Sunday, they say, right? But I'm curious right now, if you was to go to Walmart or anywhere that sells hot wings, do you think they would even have hot wings today? I just feel like the supply and demand of hot wings today is the worst that it could possibly be. Four red lights dropping out to a green. And it looks like at least the software is holding up right now. Zero drop frames or anything like that. I was going to try to run a full live stream all day long and not have any kind of breaks in between it because we were going to do them back to back to back. But with the XSplit acting up, you know, we had to shut her down and bring her back up. So we probably lost a few people in that. But nonetheless, just know that we're thinking about you guys here. We want you to have the best experience you possibly can. And y'all are definitely a blessing to us here at Lanes Raceway. James Decker says, I got them and I'm getting them ready. James, I got to know, man, how you preparing them hot wings? Is it peanut oil or vegetable oil, man? This is the difference between us being really good friends or really bad friends. I guess it was 3 banquets ago, me and Jay Latham and all of us got together, and me and Jay was out there flipping hot wings, and it was coming down a rain. It was in the middle of, I guess, springtime going into summertime, and it was just raining like crazy, and we were cooking them out there. And if you've ever cooked hot wings or any kind of, I guess, poultry, make sure it's frosted first or dethawed. You start throwing in a bunch of frozen wings or anything like that, man, and it'll bubble that oil up quick. About burnt down Lanes Raceway 1. If you ever get to come up here and check out Lanes Raceway, uh, if you go up there where Lanes Raceway used to be, you can still see the oil spot. Peanut oil, my man, my man. Yeah, that's the only way. You got to fry them babies in peanut oil. Yeah. See, I'm a big fan of frog legs too. A lot of people around here like frog legs. It's kind of like a pastime here. People go take their kids. It's considered fishing here in Livermore. Guillermo Sire in a big rush there. 4 red lights dropping out to green. But yeah, uh, getting frog legs around here is like a tradition for sure. Kids and stuff, getting them started. Considered fishing here, but I love some frog legs. Now I prefer to let them soak overnight in what do they call it? Soured milk. What is that called? I can't even think of the name of it. But anyways, it's the sour type of milk that you put on cornbread and stuff, and drink your cornbread essentially. But I like to set it in that overnight to get the kind of gaminess out of it. Then after that, yes, James, we're definitely friends. Uh, but yeah, after I get all that gaminess out of that frog leg, then I like to roll it up in that teriyaki, and then roll it in that batter, that flour batter that I make, fry it up, and then put it back in that teriyaki again. And you talk about finger licking good, you know. And there's quite a few Super Bowl parties around this area that like the old frog legs too. They keep some of them. Buttermilk, that's it, James. You got it, man. Buttermilk. Man, that was on the tip of the tongue. I was like, soured milk. What is that called? You know, you put it on the cornbread. But yeah, it's buttermilk. Thank you, James. Here's another thing you can do with buttermilk a lot of people don't know. If you're making really super duper sweet milkshakes, you can put a little bit of buttermilk in that, and it makes it actually more creamy. And it'll set your milkshake on like on top. If you've ever had cherry cheese or cheesecake, uh, it kind of makes your milkshake have like a cheesecake flavor to it. Really good. Don't use a lot. You'll make it really sour then you will not be liking that milkshake. Uh, and when I don't have buttermilk and I'm making milkshakes, I tend to use cream cheese a lot of the times. Cream cheese will do the same effect, but you can be a little bit more friendly with the cream cheese and then not destroy your milkshake. My wife, she's really famous about making peanut butter and jelly milkshakes. So she'll take peanut butter, the chunky kind, and then she'll take cream cheese and a little bit of buttermilk splashed in there, and she'll add some brown sugar to it with the milk, and then she'll add the jelly of her choosing. And I'll tell you what, man, that's my favorite milkshake: peanut butter and jelly milkshake. Unreal good. That's something I would really like. One of these restaurants around here that we have. We don't have very many, but I'd like them to start making some good milkshakes. Kips to Go crossed over an island. They have some really good peanut butter milkshakes. I like those. Uh, but ice cream machine is very hard to take care of and deal with. It's something I noticed. Because I know my dad, he's worked on that ice cream machine probably 4 times since they've had it. Jay Latham currently in the lead, 63 laps. Guillermo Sire, 58. 52 for Glenn Burden. Nathaniel Burden, 43. Gabriel Kirtley, 41. And Gunner, 30. Most likely we're seeing Gabriel Kirtley retire here, as he is currently on his Palm Pilot, or as we like to call it, a cell phone, doing business talks. I don't know what he's doing, really. He's always on that phone. Need to get him a hands-free device. That way he could be like those guys that you meet out in public. There's a few of them here that I see when I go to Owensboro. They're like, hello, hello. And you'll like say hello to them. They're not even talking to you. I do find it funny sometimes, but it is kind of embarrassing when it happens to you. Looks like Gunner's going to get his car put up here. Jay Latham's going to get it set up there. James Decker says, who do you pick for the Super Bowl? Well, I'm going to have to say the winner, James. I don't know, man. Um, to be honest, James, it's like I said earlier, I really don't even know who's in it. Um, the only sport I really follow, man, really is motorsports. I think somebody said earlier the Chiefs in it. Who's in the Super Bowl? So Eagles and the Chiefs, right? Eagles and the Chiefs. Um, well, I don't know. I like Eagles. That's the motors we run here. So I guess if I was going to say I have no understanding or who's playing or any of the guys, but I'm going to go ahead and just say the Eagles are going to take it because that's what these guys are running in these cars. They're running Eagles in these cars, and America is born on Eagles. So I'm going to say the Eagles are going to take it. What about you, James? Who do you think is going to take it? And that's going to be a red flag rotation. Jerry Latham's going to be out in the lead with 70 laps. 5 laps behind him, though, Guillermo Sire, pretty close to him. Glenn Burton there with 58. 49 for Nathaniel, 41 for Gabriel, and 35 for Gunnar Bender. I've been trying to play the pregame here all day for those that do like the football and stuff. Oh, James, fellow Screeching Eagle, huh? All right. Well, hey, this might get me into watching football. If the Eagles win, I might start watching the Eagles football just for that reason. Sometimes I have some spare time. My father-in-law, my wife's daddy, and I guess it'd be my brother-in-law because it would be my wife's sister's husband. We used to watch a lot of UK basketball and UK football, and I can't say I didn't not like it. It just I only liked it with them, if that makes sense, because I loved them. Uh, but yeah, I had some pretty good times. I don't understand it a lot, you know. But I'm sure people see are the same way with me whenever they watch a lot of I guess you'd say active sports like that, and I'm like talking to them about racing, like, yeah, that car there's got dual overhead cams, and the reason that guy's taking him there is he's got fresh tires, and the ratio on this car is you know more top end than that. That's why he's getting them, or they got twin turbos in that car, and that car is lighter, all that kind of stuff. People's like, well, maybe they're thinking that don't make any sense. Why that would make it any different? Kind of like whenever they're talking to me about, hey, this guy's got. I hear Russian yards all the time. All right, you have to give me a second, Glenn. You waited too long. All right, go ahead. Glenn's got to use the restroom here. What Eagle motor do they run? 605 or E18? They run the 605s. Yep, the 605 Eagle. And we have pretty good luck with these motors too. There's very seldom do we have any issues with the Eagles, other than after about 3 or 4 races, the brushes are pretty much shot in them. But they're good motors. Now I will say, a lot of people that do the sporting, they do the sporting bets. That's just kind of become pretty prevalent here in Kentucky now that they've allowed them to do the sporting bets and stuff like that. They opened up a sporting complex, or I don't know if it's opened up yet, but I know it's opening up in February over there in Owensboro, Kentucky. It was going to be put in the old mall in Owensboro, but now I think it's outside over there, uh, going off of Old 60 towards Hallsville area. But it's like a casino now, which it's kind of weird, really. I never really understood that they could just be like, yeah, you can have a casino in Kentucky as long as it's owned by a horse company. I don't know. Something to do with Churchill Downs or something like that. They're able to gamble. It's weird. Nowhere else can you gamble in Kentucky though. All right, guys, y'all ready? Here we go. Race is back on. Unlike NASCAR, these guys will not pee their pants. They must use the restroom. So if they need to, we can hit the pause button. Glenn got to me just a hair late there, so we had to let about 2 seconds go before we could hit the pause button. If they get me though while it's in, what do you call it? Intermission, I guess. Red flag conditioning. I can hit it pretty good. Blake Panel there helping them out with the cars there. Right, Gunner there getting his sticky roller there. We're now round robin 5 of 8, minute 47 seconds left to go. Gabriel Kirtley, like I said, he's retired, folks. He's had some issues. I'll tell you something I've been hankering for besides hot wings. Curly fries. I've been wanting me some curly fries bad. Of course, I haven't ate today either. I guess that's why the main majority of my talking points are about food. I get like that when I get hungry. Probably doesn't hurt me to fast a little bit though. Side by side racing there through the W portion of the track there. So that'll be 3 there for Gunner. James Deckard says with some cheddar cheese on them. Woo! You talking now? Yeah, cheddar cheese, man. So Eric Kips to go. They got this big old steel can. It's like a coffee can, and it's full of cheddar cheese. Like it's, I'm not gonna say it's like oh, what do you call it? Nacho cheese, but it's cheddar cheese, man. And I'm gonna tell you, it is unreal good. When the coach says you must be hungry, all that food talk you were doing. Subway has a 6-inch Philly bag of chips and a small drink for $6.99. I'm definitely gonna have to get one of those, Moms. I'm not gonna make it the rest of the day. I'm gonna have T go over and get me one. She went over there a while ago. She said, "You want anything right now?" I said, "No, I think I'm gonna hold off. I'm try to fast a little bit. Try to get some of this fat going off of me. Getting a little bit too lazy in my older age, but I'm definitely feeling it. Philly, Philadelphia Eagles, Philly. Is it Philadelphia Eagles, New York Eagles, or something now? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know much about football, but I remember for some reason or another it used to be called Philadelphia Eagles. Sounds like me the Eagles are going to win, James. I got a feeling Eagles are going to bring it home. But yeah, Wendy Kirtley, owner of the Livermore Subway next door and a sponsor of the Four Crowns here at Lanes Raceway. And I'm sure this 6-inch Philly is probably not only to Livermore. So, but if you are in the Livermore area, I expect you to stop by Livermore Subway, get you a 6-inch Philly, bag of chips, and a small drink for $6.99. And right now, they have I think it's called Mama Lisa's chips that are the buffalo style, and they are hitting. James Deckard trying to get an appetite ready for the Super Bowl party, and yes, they are. The Eagles will take it home. Wendy Kirtley says Jonah and Sebastian are doing nothing right now. Let everybody know they can eat at Subway today for $6.99. Mom, I will let them know, and I will tell them to get the hot wings flavored chips. I don't think it's actually called hot wings flavor, but it is like buffalo flavored. Buffalo flavored. That's it. Hey, Mom says everybody before y'all leave and go home, y'all need to stop at Subway and get the $6.99 Philly deal over at Lanes Raceway. By the way, they do have buffalo flavored chips. Just letting y'all know. Buffalo flavored chips. 1,000 for the Four Crowns. Yeah. I told them, Mom. I told every one of them. I expect it out of them. They're called Miss Vicky's chips. And if you ain't had those Buffalo Miss Vicky's yet, y'all are missing out. You need to try it. Yeah. So, Mom, like let's say that I go next door to the Subway and I just want those Miss Vicky's chips. Can I just purchase those Miss Vicky chips and just bypass the subway. You're welcome, Mother. Thank you for sponsoring the Four Crowns. Guillermo Sire has started a trend here at Lanes Raceway with all of these track caddies. That's the name of it, track caddy. Uh, Everybody and their brother that is now on the track has one of Guillermo Sire's famous track caddies. If you're interested in a Guillermo Sire track caddy, give us a call here at Lanes Raceway. We'll get you set up. I'm going to tell you, they are top quality and super robust. Woody Kirtley says, yes, 159. Well, I will definitely be going home with several bags if there's any left. I'm going to let these guys get at it first because I know they're going to be getting a sandwich. They got one more race. Gabriel is bound and determined to get these dudes through these races. So we are going to get them through the races, but then after that, they will head to Subway and they will get them some sandwich action. But right now, in round robin 6 of 8, these last few heats here have been pretty brutal. Jay Latham is hanging on to that lead, though. He's really come into his own. James Deckard says, is the Subway next door to you? Yes, yeah. It's basically our anchor, for sure, as they call it. I was told that terminology from my brother. Like I said, I got a little bit of a caveman mind. My brother, he's got more of a business set mind. And he says, those are called anchors. He's like, it makes it where you don't have to sell food. And I said, I love it. So that's why since Lane's Raceway's been, we've always parked ourselves next to some food establishment. And it just so happens that this is a double help as my mom and dad own the Subway next door. So uh, the guys go there next door. And I'll tell you what, it's the best Subway in the nation, if you ask me. I've been to quite a few Subways in my time. I am a big tuna fish um, sub sandwich eater. I eat them all the time. Buffalo Ranch and shredded cheese, tomatoes, spinach, and a little bit of those yellow peppers. That's how I get my sandwich with on white bread. And before they owned it, it used to make me sick. Like every time I ate it. And then the ones in Owensboro, man, they would make me sick too. But after they owned it, like my mom, if you know my mom, she keeps a clean house. Like she's disinfecting, she keeps everything clean, wiped up, just nice, swept up. You get it on wheat bread? That's right, James. On that wheat bread. Yeah, I like the wheat bread too. I get a hankering sometimes for wheat bread. It's funny, I was talking to my mom about that a couple weeks ago, about Ezekiel bread. When I get a hankering for wheat bread, I just go to the store and buy that Ezekiel bread with all the nuts and the flax and all that stuff all mixed into it. And I usually fix me a big old Dagwood sandwich when I get in the wheat bread attitude. Because nothing's better, in my opinion, than making you a big old Dagwood sandwich on wheat bread, Ezekiel wheat bread, with mayo mixed with mustard. Unreal good. These guys are very smooth behind the transition of those triggers right now. They ran quite a bit of time there before having an incident. Jay Latham out in the lead right now, 102. Guillermo Sire, 97. Glenn Burden, 89. 79, Nathaniel, 47. Gunner, and 41, Gabriel. Coming up next is the 72 pitch series and our last race of the evening. And I think right now, let me see what time it is. I don't know if we're going to get these guys out by Super Bowl Sunday time or not. 4:37, probably not, but it will be close. It's 4:37, so it's took about right at 35, 36 minutes to run this race, so not too bad. So they'll get home right in time whenever the Super Bowl starts, so they're not going to miss much. Because I think they said it starts at 5 our time, which is Central Time here in Livermore, Kentucky. Yeah, I spend a lot of time, James, over at my mom and dad's. We it's one of two things on that television. It's either cooking shows or it's news. Which on the news days, don't tend to stay very long. But when it's on the cooking shows, me and my mom, we like to talk recipes and we like to talk different times of different types of drinks and foods and eatings and all that. And it's just a good time when we talk about food. I've been talking about raising a garden for food too. So, Jay Latham 108, 103 for Guillermo, 93 for Glenn, Nathaniel Burden, 85, 47 for Gunner, and 41 for Gabriel. Guillermo trying to reset the clock there. But yeah, I don't know what channel it is, but Man Eats, I think's one of them. And then there's one of them where they tour the country and they go to these different places and eat. And then there's this guy, he's got glasses that comes on, and he comes up with different kinds of recipes and stuff. And I've tried a few of these recipes before at the house, but I'm not really good at cooking. I'm just not. I always mess it up. I could cook a steak, but my mom always says I take too long cooking them. And I don't know how to not take long cooking them. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just a little impatient when it comes to flipping the steaks. 5:30 our time. So you're Central Time too, James? Well, if it's at 5:30 and we get there pretty quick through this, we should be able to be done by 5:30, I would say. Because right now we are looking at 37 minutes total on this stream, and we're at round robin 7 of 8. So, like I said, it'll be super close. And I think Guillermo's going to like it because he travels pretty far to come here and race, so he'll get to get home in a decent hour. And of course, his wife's had some sickness problems too. We've been praying for her. A lot of people, man, just been sick here lately. And with other people being sick, you don't really want to be around people that are not sick because you don't want to try to get them sick. It's funny. Some people they get through really horrible sick stages when everybody's sick, and I think maybe I might be that lucky one this time. I'm hoping. Then other people, man, they get it every waking moment. And that was me probably about 8 months ago. 8 months ago, man, I caught every sickness you could possibly get. It was like, man, I'd get over it and I'd get it again. And my brother, man, he carried a cough for months, man. And I was like, dude, you might want, like, it was so bad he carried that cough for so long. I got worried about him. I said, man, you can go to the hospital and check and make sure it ain't heart disease. Come to find out, it was just a cough that stayed with him. It was wild, man. But I ain't ever seen sickness like I have here lately. Now, I don't get afraid of it by no means. Jesus is king. I don't worry about that kind of stuff. But I sure hate feeling sick. I don't like it. I don't think anybody really does. Now, we did get some tires in last week from Kelly up there. I think Gerber called them up there at Alpine and ordered some tires from them guys. Uh, and I don't know if any of the guys are using it this week, but I do know I'm in Macon County, Tennessee, and my hot wings are smelling pretty hot now. All right, man. I love Tennessee. That's where my mama's from. She's from Tennessee. She's not from Macon, but she's from Versailles. I think's the name of it, Versailles, or I'm trying to think of the other. There was another place too. I can't remember. Pretty close in that area though. I'm always bad about names of places, but I always enjoyed it as a kid going down there and seeing my Aunt Ann and all of my other relatives and stuff. It's where the Durhams come from. So what kind of hot wing stuff are you putting on those babies? You got a special hot sauce you like there, James? Monterey. Yeah, Monterey. I knew. I was like, man, what is it? I was like, it's a fish name. It's a fish name. But yeah, Monterey, Tennessee. Good place if you ain't ever been there. When I was young, Mom and Pa, I remember Pa, that's what I call my granddad. They took me up there one time up on top of this mountain, and there was these white PVC pipes just coming out of the side of the mountain. You could just straight up stop on the side of the road and uh, get you some water to drink. It blows my mind. I don't even know if that's still there though, but that always burned into my memory. I'll never forget that. You know, when you're a kid, all you want to do is grow up, but whenever you get older, man, you just wish you were a kid. Tabasco sauce. Interesting thing about Tabasco, and I didn't know this till a couple years ago, and I plan on making a trip down to Louisiana. But did you know that the Tabasco sauce pepper, the Tabasco pepper, is only grown in Louisiana on an island in the middle of Louisiana? And you say, well, I didn't think there was an island in the middle of Louisiana. Well, it is a landlocked island in the middle of Louisiana. It's kind of like a marshland island, but that is the only place they grow those peppers. And they do have a distinct flavor, little bitty old tiny peppers. But I want to go to that island because evidently they cask those peppers and they keep them for a certain amount of years before they even make that Tabasco sauce. And I'd really like to go just to check that out. I always thought that was very interesting. Plus, I like the old man beards trees with all that old man's beard hanging off of it. Louisiana's just got a style all to its own. Alan Ingram, how you doing, Alan? We're looking forward to seeing you guys at Bill's the 22nd. We will have a live stream, but no narration. Well, I mean, a live stream is good. That's putting slot car tracks further up on the map. Everybody should be live streaming these slot car races from here on out. The way I feel about it, I told Gabriel, I said, man, maybe we get something started here when we first started Lanes Raceway. Because live streaming, you know, it gets it out there, it gets the whole community together, pulls them together, gets everybody excited, whether there's narration or not. Uh, as you can tell, Alan, we ain't talking much slot cars right now. We're talking, well, we are talking a little bit, right? We're talking Eagles, Eagle Motors, 604 Eagles. You know, that's what we're running in this class. We're thinking the Eagles are going to take home the Super Bowl. Other than that, we're talking chicken wings. We're talking these guys racing, uh, going over their numbers at the end of it. Not too much of a in-depth following as we usually do, but you know, nothing's better than sitting talking to some good friends about good things and watching some cars go around the track. When I was younger, my brother and my dad, they would sit and they would watch NASCAR races together. Of course, it's been several years since we've all lived together in the same house. But let me go over these numbers real quick. I'll get back to the story. Jay Latham, 126, 123 Guillermo in second, 111 Glenn, 100 Nathaniel, 62 for Gunner, and 41 for Gabriel, which is retired. Gabriel, he's the guy I'm speaking about. So he would get up there and dad, and they would watch NASCAR. And this was back in the golden era of NASCAR. You know, Dale Earnhardt, uh, Jeff Gordon, all the guys battling it out. And I just could not get vested in it. I never understood why you would sit and watch NASCAR. But then it was one Sunday, and we were all, I think, at my grandma's house, and it was Dana, me, Gabriel, and my dad. And I realized these guys ain't talking about racing all the time. They're just talking about stuff like kind of like how we're doing right now, talking about Tabasco, food, and everything else. But the race is on the background, and they would just wait till something happened, and then they would talk about it for a few minutes. Same thing, same principle. And I think the same thing is with slot car racing. You know, I've been around it my whole life, and I love just sitting and watching it and shooting the breeze, as they call it. We have the Pepper Palace here in Tennessee. Just about every kind of hot sauce available. You know, Tennessee is known for their pepper sauces. That is for sure. We went to the Smoky Mountains, and if you go, there's a little like mall there with a big bear. I can't remember where we were at, but there was a big old bear that they had stuffed in this little mall that we went to. And when we went in there, they had different kinds of drinks, which I'm a big soda pop fan, man. I'll drink any kind of weird soda. And you know, You popped up in there. There was a whole store, probably the size of Lane's Raceway, like what you're seeing right here, filled with nothing but hot sauces, different kinds of hot sauces. Man, I don't know. Some of them were very special looking too. I seen one of them. It was in like a crystal skull. It was kind of crazy. James Decker said, "When racing was racing, that is true. You know, good old boy racing, they used to call it." Alan Ingram, I have a hot sauce that will light your world on fire. Alan, I could only imagine what the name of that hot sauce is called. They have some pretty wild names out there. I made my own hot sauce about 3 years ago. I grew some cayenne peppers out back, and I called it Fire in the Hole. That's what I called it, Alan. My brother's over here. He's checking out the stream here. He's been talking with Blake there on the RC track. Gabe, what's your favorite hot sauce? He said none. You know, probably I don't know, this might be the same for you guys, but the ghost pepper, whew, son, James, you are messing with fire right there. That ghost pepper, you can't take much of that heat. Yes, it is. 1 minute and 26 seconds. The hot sauce I like to use the most, of course, is Frank's Red Hot. I like Frank's Red Hot. But if I can get Texas Pete, that's my favorite. Al Ingram says privately made out of Reaper and ghost peppers. The maker calls it retard sauce. So I guess it'll slow you down. It's funny. It's almost like the smaller the pepper, the hotter it is, man. They always say the heat's in the seeds, but I don't know. I've ate some just peppers by themselves without even touching a seed, and they've lit me on fire. Flavor wise, I love a green pepper sauce. I love a jalapeno. I really do. Uh, Taco Bell, back when they had that verde sauce, I really liked that. It wasn't super super spicy, but it had a little bit of spice to it. But the flavor was there. It's more like I love vinegar sauces. So if we're talking barbecue, like any of that, we got a place around here called Mission Barbecue, and they have a vinegar sauce there. It looks foul on that table. It looks literally like dirt water in a glass. But that is some of the best vinegar sauce ever. Al Ingram says, as for racing, I grew up on SCCA and IMSA out of the left coast. Yeah, we watch all the SCCA races here at Lanes Raceway when they pop up. We catch a few of the IMSA races every once in a while. And Alan said Taco Bell Verde is awesome. You remember about, I guess it was probably about 7 or 8 years ago, that the uh, the price of that Verde sauce went up exponential on eBay, and people were selling that stuff for like $30 and $40 a packet. I wouldn't eat it now because but, I mean, back then, I mean, I guess it was right there at that limit to where it was about to eat through the bag. I don't know, but I do remember that. Like there was I guess it was its own kind of currency about 7 years or so ago. They tried to bring it back, but it wasn't the same. Yeah, usually the reason they get rid of some of their popular sauces is because those factories end up shutting down. I mean, perfect example of that, Alan, is Parma. Like they Cox tried to pick up the weight after Parma and make those 48 pitch gears, and we all know that the Cox gears and the Parma gears are nowhere near on the same level. But Parma's back now. Mid America's making stuff for Parma with those gears. Uh, the 332nd style stuff is not the same type of plastic that they used to use. It's not bad, but it's not that light colored Pepto pink. You know, like you said, it's not the same. Jay Latham right now in the lead, 144 total laps, 143 for Guillermo, 130 Glenn Burden. Jay won, yeah. Jay taking home the win there. Sorry, folks. shows you how much I've been paying that close of attention since the live stream's been down. I ain't been able to take strikes. I've really been focusing that much. Jay Latham's going to take the win at 144, 143 for Guillermo, 130 Glenn, Nathaniel 118, Gunnar Bender 72, and Gabriel 41. So guys, I'm going to refresh this instance here. So it'll take me just a second here. That way we're ready to go when we start the next one. Guys, if y'all would, bring your 72 pitch stuff up there. T's going to get the names put in. And guys, I'll be back. We'll continue our conversation of the culinary arts here very shortly. But I got to get these guys checked for the 72 pitch. And then we'll get back to racing. T's going to get their names put in the meantime. And we should get this race started here within the next few minutes. I'm just going to check them on this side so I ain't got to walk over that thing. Cheese, you been good? Okay, that's good. Two of the six good. Gabe, you racing? You want me to check your car? Good. All right. Whose ride's this? Gunner's ride? Gabriel sell you that body? Gabriel sell you that body? Probably free 99. Hey, all I gotta say is there's a tax here in Lanes Raceway. Any selling or trading in here, there's a tax. All right, so how many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're missing one car. Guillermo, you ready? I'm gonna check you. All right, they're all good. All right, guys, sorry about that. Kind of headset fell off there. Everybody's checked in. Everybody's doing pretty good. We have had a request to run 032 clearance when we come in April. Alan, is that a part of y'all's rule set? If it is, we're fine with it. Because I mean, well, you're the guy that's running the race. They tried to bring it back, but it wasn't the same. Okay, just making sure I've got everything checked up here. But yeah, if you change the rules to it, I'm good with it. And we'll let the guys know. 032. I don't know what that is. What the Ralph Thorne one is. Let me see what it is real quick. T, what you do with that tech tool? Never mind, I got it. So this one is a Ralph Thorne is a 047. Hey, Gabe. Alan was wondering, come over here real quick. If when they come to race on this track, could they do a 032 clearance? I don't have that tech tool.
Does he have the tech tool?
Alan, do you have the tech tool for a 032 clearance? I mean, how would we do that? We would just have to get some filler gauges or something?
Probably.
We normally run a 4.7, but a 3.2 would work well on a true flat track.
I mean,
What do you think?
he says he's got one.
Okay, yeah, just bring one, Alan. Uh, I'm guessing you're all right with it.
I'm fine with it if that's. I mean,
I'll get some. We'll get some filler gauges.
We're gonna run his rules, so
Yeah, we're going to run your rules, Alan. So yeah, that's fine. Just go ahead and update your rules. Let everybody know. We'll get some filler gauges in the meantime for these guys so they can get their stuff set up. But yeah, we're good with it. That shouldn't drag the track, I wouldn't think. All right, let me sit back down here. All right, this is our final race of the evening. This is 72 pitch here at Lanes Raceway, and man, I love the 72 pitch. 72 pitch, a smooth ride. You guys ready? All right, guys, watch your lights. It will only be for your track. Okay. Well, I mean that's fine. Um, I mean just make sure that the guys know. You know, I'm sure you will, because nothing would be worse if some of the guys that didn't hear about it come in with a 4.7 and we're all running 0.32. You know, because the guys at a 0.32 would have a pretty significant advantage there over the guys at a 0.47. Gabber goes, "Thank you, Blake. You're a good man." Blake is a good guy. A little story about Blake. A couple weeks ago, we had some questions about some of the stuff that 1RC was selling. He says, "Hey, man, did you know that 1RC sells a motor with a 12 tooth pinion on it?" I said, "What?" Of course, we was thinking that all the 1RC stuff come with 10 pinions because you couldn't really mess with it any other way. Come to find out, sure enough, he brought it in and we looked at it and he's like, "And here's the other thing, you could just swap out the whole rear end and stick in it." I said, "Well, if you don't mind, do that for us." So he did it. He brought it in and it made a huge difference. We ended up changing the rules last week over it. But you know, Blake, he's trying to keep things fair here just like we are, and we appreciate Blake. 1 minute and 48 seconds in this heat. This is round robin 1 of 8, the 72 pitch. This will be very, very similar to what Allen's kind of running in the Flexi Challenge Series. We're all super excited about that. Most flat track racing uses either no clearance rule or a 032, everything flush with the bottom of the chassis. Okay, everything flush with the bottom of the chassis. Okay. Well, like when I check these guys, I check the back right there where the gear's at. Now we don't want the guys dragging the track for sure. We don't want to tear up a new track, but yeah, I mean if it a 032, this is flush mounted braid. Like the braid's even with the top of the track on this track, so I think that'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. Plus, there'll be less wrecking. It'll be a lot better looking on the live stream. And get that weight down low. Let these guys almost go wide open. It's tough. A flat track is tough. Okay. He says that's it. Nothing can hang below the chassis. I like it. Yeah, because you know a good smooth race. You can sit back, watch these guys race. Not a whole lot of wrecks. People having to track marshal harsh and stuff like that. It's always for a better racing experience. Nobody likes to be wrecked, and everybody likes to keep that motion up. And I really do believe that bringing that lower is actually beneficial. Jeremy Sire in the lead, 12 laps. Glenn Burden, 12 laps, and Jay, 12 laps. All three tied up. Oh, Guillermo Sire's been very strong here in this class. And Guillermo knows how to set up a car pretty good to be very aggressive through the corners here, as we see. Trevor Kirtley, he's had hit or miss pretty much all season long with this class. Some days he comes in, he's very, very strong. Other days, not so much. And I'm not going to say Guillermo's been perfect this whole time either, but he definitely has built a pretty quick car here for sure. The biggest improvement I've seen all season long would definitely have to be Nathaniel Burden. Nathaniel Burden, of course, been able to keep his car on and progressively getting faster and faster on the track. But it looks like he might be having some issues here with his 72 pitch currently. And that is a red flag rotation. Right now, Guillermo's in the lead with 20 laps, 19 for Jay, 18 for Glenn, 17 for Gabriel, Gunner 13, and Nathaniel 2. Pretty much in this one, if you do wreck out, it's pretty much game over on this track. Because it takes about 7 to 9 seconds, depending on how well your car's set up, to run a lap here. In these faster cars here, I think they can run them in 5 or 6 seconds. But if you wreck in that last corner, it is really brutal. That's what'll put you back real quick. Another guy that was I'm quite impressed with out of the gate, just being a rookie on the flat track, coming up into here. Now, I wouldn't necessarily call him a rookie, I guess, as him and his dad used to own a track. But Sean McCutcheon coming up in here, he really learned the flat track quite quick and really aggressive on the trigger. Hey, honey, could you bring me a drink, please? Yeah, Mountain Dew, please. Thank you. No, I don't want a Pepsi. I had one a while ago, and it's kind of made my throat a little raw. No, give me something that's not in the bottle. I don't want to. I don't want to drink somebody's. What else do we have in a can? Give me a Coca-Cola. No, I better not do that. Thank you, honey. What's that, babe? I don't want that, babe. Put that up. No, put it up for me, please. I'll be all right. I got sugar right here in this Coca-Cola. Yeah, James, I wanted a Mountain Dew, but we only had it in a bottle, and I keep that for the guys because the guys like it in a bottle more than they like it in a can. I could drink it out of a can. There's only one racer here I know that likes his drinks out of a can every time, and that is the King of Lanes Raceway, Jay Latham, there on the end of the track. He likes his Pepsis in a can. He likes Pepsi. But both him and I are under the same agreement that Coke is colder in a can. And for you guys that don't know, I call every soda Coke. My wife calls it pop, but I call it Coke. That goes for anything. Mountain Dew, Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, any of it. It's Cokes, and if it's in a can, it's colder than in a bottle. Unless it's a glass bottle. If it's a glass bottle, it can be colder. Glass bottle is probably the ultimate cold. Guys, it looks like we did it again this week. We received 100 messages today with Restream Chat, yet again. The conversations are getting more and more tasty by the minute. As my favorite topic is talking about food. I love talking about food. Alan Ingram said, I think we'll have a pretty good turnout for April. What are your thoughts about our other class, JK Wide Indy Friday night on the Orange just for fun? Uh, Alan, I'll tell you about the Indy cars. If you've ever checked any of our live streams, it requires a precise build to run a JK Indy wide body Indy on the orange track without it to jump. The motto, if you check from earlier days in Lanes Raceway, is don't forget to blip. There is a hump on the orange track, and if you forget to let off there and get back in it, your IndyCar will slam that wall. Um, and it's kind of like the old American tracks, where they had the humps in it. Well, this one's got a dip, and it kind of like sucks the car down and then pulls it out of the track. If you don't have it set right, it'll come out. Um, we've negated that by using one of JK's .70 washers and setting the guide flag in the recess of the track, because the track is recessed a little bit. And when you do that, it'll work. Okay, I'm not going to say that it'll work every time. You can run, literally, this is words from Randy Kirtley. You can run 99 laps wide open on red lane with it set up and it not wreck. With that 100th lap, it's going to crash. There's no rhyme or reason why it does it. And that's why me, Gabriel, and Randy have decided that here shortly we're going to pull apart the orange track, and it's dictated whether or not we get a new track. So if we get a new track, it's going to happen pretty soon. So it may not even be here during that. But I'm fine with running it. I just want you to know ahead of time that the orange track is old. It's 30 something years old, and it's had damage from being in the basement. Flood and damage on the bottom and on the straight track, like I said, right there, you have to let off. You have to blip with the Indy cars. I don't know what it is about the Indy cars. I guess because there's just no meat up front and there's not enough downforce on the IndyCar bodies. But we've ran series on it, and it's rough. It's tough. It's not for the faint of heart. And I don't want people to get frustrated because they can't keep their cars on red, white, and green unless they get it set up. That's just something you just have to get one set up for it. Uh, but yeah, I'm open to it. The guys are even open to running it IndyCar on the flat track if you guys wanted to. But it's really up to you guys. I mean, we're here for you guys. Whatever you guys want to do. We're excited. Like I said, the guys they can't stop talking about it. They're super pumped. All right, after that heat, we're going to see Guillermo Sire there, 40 laps. 38 for Jay Latham, 36 for Gabriel, 36 for Glenn Burden, 30 for Gunner, 18 for Nathaniel. Be heading into this round robin 3 of 8 coming up next. So the orange track too is pretty difficult. It's not like a regular American orange. Of course, there's two pieces taken out of it, so we call it a tangerine, and that was so that we could fit it in the basement. But the issue is right there on Dead Man's Corner. Uh, Most of your wrecks are going to be under the bridge, where a lot of the orange racing from back in the day, you would wreck before the bridge. Al says probably the front wheels hit in the dip area. That's was happening in the Alpine until their last adjustment. Um, well, we've had the wheels all the way up too, sorted them up, and then people still come out. It's weird. It's like I think it's in my opinion. This is just my opinion. I don't mean much. Like I said, I got a caveman mind. Uh, but it seems like the downforce is not strong enough in the front to hold the front down. But then when it goes in that dip, you're talking about a lot of G-force sucking down and then lifting up. And I almost think that the springiness in that chassis, when it sucks down like that into that dip, and then it comes back out of that dip, it goes flying like those old rubber poppers you used to be able to throw your thumbs in, lay them on the table, and a few minutes later they go pop and send up in the air. In my mind, that's how I see that chassis working. Like it's going down there and it's bending in that center section that's real thin, and then bending back out and popping it out just enough that the guide flag gets out of it and it sends it up into the upper wall. Uh, but like I said, if you get it set up to where that it's properly set, you can run 99 laps, but that 100th you might come out. But we had seen a picture of a post that you guys were talking about on Facebook, and we had talked about it. I think it was last week or the week before, and Dad's like, it's probably fine, but you might want to let them know, you know. So that's just me letting you know. But yeah, we're good with it. If you guys want to run on a Friday night, do that. Well, I'll tell you too, Alan. We may have for our preliminary race, because I know we're going to be running IndyCar with the motor selection and stuff for the Flexi Challenge Series coming up next week or the week after. It just depends on whether or not I'm sick. If we start our next series next week. So we might do that on Orange, and then you can tune in and check it out, and you'll see about what I'm talking about, some of the issues that could take place. With the new motor, there might be enough power in the new motor versus like an Eagle or something to be able to actually get enough downforce to hold the car down. I don't know. We've never ran that motor selection in the Indy cars. So I do know they're faster than an Eagle motor. Uh, Gabriel and Dad, of course, have a lot more experience running them than I do. But they said they're not a whole lot faster, but they are a little bit. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Uh, but I'm excited either way. I'm always excited doing different things. Guillermo's car coming off there. He's currently in the lead, and everybody's rooting for him to wreck even more. 2 cars coming off the third row. That'll be Jay and Gabriel. Gabriel looks like he's having issues with his other controller, too. Alan Ingram says, we will probably pass. Those chassis are hard enough to tune anyway. I'll ask the racers about running on the flat track Friday night. They may want to just practice and tune for Saturday. All right, Alan, you just let me know, man. I'm good with anything. And right there is where you don't want to wreck. As we see Brian tossing a car to the other end here. We'll see who that is. Looks to be Gunner's car there. Yeah, Alan, I was just informed earlier today that there's a possibility of a new track coming here. So I don't know how or what's going to happen here in the next couple of weeks. I don't know. I haven't been able to do it on the live stream, but if that is the case, there may be a new track there by the time y'all get here. I don't know. Yeah, Alan, there is talks about a new track coming here, and then we're going to actually take apart the orange and fix it where the dip is and everything, flatten it out, and get it up to new age spec. Like I said, that track's about 30 years old, so it needs to be rebraided. Uh, like that dip where it's settled here, and it's been in the basement forever when there wasn't really a big dip there. It's progressively got bigger being on a flat surface, so we'll be able to take it apart, sand it out, bondo it, and retrack it and everything else, and make it brand new again, I guess you would say. And I'm sure Randy wants to upgrade it to kind of similar to how uh, Giannis Novkins built this track with the uh, what do you call it? Uh, I don't know what you call it, where it kind of forces it to be put together correctly with the little pins and tubes and all that. Shane White, Alan Ingram, have you ever ran this track at another location or one just like this? Sorry, Shane. I didn't know you was having a conversation just then. I just read the conversation. Sorry. Guillermo in first, 20 uh, on average, 60 laps. 56 for Jay, averaging 18.7. 18.3 on average, third place Glenn Burton with 55. 49 for Gunner. 42 for Gabriel, and 36 for Nathaniel. Oh, okay. Thank you, Shane. Shane said he just included me in the mix. Yeah, I know before we ended up having an opportunity to get this track from the Czech Republic, we was talking about, yeah, getting an MTT or one of the LTD tracks. And this one just kind of fell into our hands. Of course, Randy, he was calling around and messaging around. He actually got into contact with Giannis Novkins, and he's like, I know you want a 2015 track, but what about a 2023? So that's pretty much how that went. That's the story of how we got this track, and we're like, yeah, we'll take it. You know, it is a very smooth track. Probably the highlight of the track that I like the most is a two-parter. So like the entrance into the camel hump there in the middle of the track, I love that feeling. And then going around the second to the last corner right into the horseshoe, that little jolt of speed you get there to set the car up to go full speed on the backstretch, that's a good feeling too. Uh, like I said, I've not had a whole lot of experience on the track, but those are the two parts of the track that I like the most. It's just a really good, I don't know, it makes you feel good, like you're a good racer when you hit those spots just right. because I love quick entry, quick exit. Like that's what I like drive style. The whoop-de-doo S turns there, man, that is one of those feelings of butterflies every time you go through it. So what these guys are experiencing through the first, second, and third corners, it's hard on you. It's a feeling in your gut. You're like, man, whoo, ha, that's close. Yeah, Shane, I watched the Worlds in 2023 when they was running on this track. Of course, like I said earlier, I was rooting for Roger Smith, and of course, when that was going on, he kind of had some things go on there. A guy had a car on the track, and nobody was stopping the track for him, and that became an issue. I actually had a chance to talk to Roger about that, and he was like, "Yeah, they wouldn't stop the track." So I was like, "Hey, stop the track," and they basically told him to shut up or leave over it. And I was like, "Man, that's kind of wild," but I mean, he was just trying to help a guy out, and they wasn't having it. So, but you know how those really serious events like that are. It's got to kind of be that way in a weird way. Guillermo, 80 laps, 76 for Jay, 74 for Glenn, 70 for Gunner, 56 for Nathaniel, and 42 for Gabriel right now. As we're heading into the fifth of 8 round robins. Alan says, "You guys are doing very well on this track." Uh, they've had a lot of practice this series, and this is 72 pitch too, Alan. And it helps a lot with the acceleration to get the downforce on these bodies, and then it breaks so much better. It's, in my opinion, 72 pitch gears. A lot of people say, well, there ain't much difference between it and 64. But what I could tell, just for the higher RPM, it reminds me a lot of making like a brushed car look and feel similar to a brushless. It's what it reminds me of. Maybe minus the coast that you get from a brushless. But as for accelerating quick and braking quick, 72 pitch is very aggressive. When you can make a motor like the Eagle that doesn't have a whole lot of magnet chunk in it, you can make it aggressive. That's pretty cool. Richard says, Alan, they are using RTR tech tools, so plan for that rear clearance for the race. Richard, we were just talking about that earlier. I think Alan's going to change the rules up on that, and it's going to be, what did he say it was? Let me roll up here real quick and see. Do, 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 do. We got to talking about a lot of stuff. Since we normally run .047, but a .032 would work well on a flat track. So he's wanting to bring it to a .032, Richard. And we're fine with it. We'll use, I think he's going to bring the tool down, is what Alan said. So we will use filler gauges in the meantime until he gets that down. But yeah, we're okay with it. It's like I was telling Alan, I think it'll make it for a better racing experience too. It'll be a lot less wrecks, keeping that low center of gravity down lower, and letting these cars be that much quicker. Shane White says, we raced Retro and Helen this last weekend, and some big names there. A couple of people were getting test over the rules. Rich Austin says, awesome. It'll be awesome racing at that clearance. Yeah, I mean, here's my whole deal on rules, guys. Like, I understand we need a pretty strong set of rules, and Alan would agree. But what is the purpose of rules? The purpose of rules is to make a good, fair, enjoyable experience for all racers. That's what rules should be. Rules should not be used as something to lord over people. Yeah, some people they really take to heart those kind of rules because The guys that really get upset about rules, this is what I've noticed. Okay, people that get upset about rules and get testy over the rules are the ones that are trying to gray area break the rules. So those guys, man, they come and go. You kind of got to just let it be. But if guys want good racing experience, they want to have a really good time, they should be open to rules that make that able to happen. Uh, you know, and as for Lanes Raceway's rules, we kind of roll on that. We go until there's a problem that hits. When that problem hits, we all as a group together come together and we're like, how we solve this problem, and then we solve it. And then that's a part of the rule going forward until something else happens. Shane White says, I totally agree. Richard also says, I'll make the racing better on that clearance for sure. At that clearance, good, more equal cars. Yeah, it will. Keeping that lower clearance like that's going to definitely help around these kind of corners. And I've raced around this track. It's a flat track. It's tough. It's tough to keep the cars on. You want to be able to accelerate, kind of like you do with a banked corner, almost right before the middle of the track. But if you do that, it's going to come off every time, and that's a hard habit to break. You get that lower clearance, you may be able to skate it every once in a while, especially if you got a good set of tires and your car's set up and trued up right. Because you'll see even right now with some of these cars, now that we are running at the Ralph Thorne clearance right now, and you can see when they come in and out of the corners how the back ends kind of flop back and forth. With that lower clearance like that would calm that down a whole lot more. And I was just having a conversation with Brian Vender last night about the importance of balancing tires and whether or not you want to glue your gears or whatever in your car. There's a positive and a negative about almost everything. But if you balance your tires, I can't really see a negative in it other than the negative of having to buy a tire balancer. But then, gluing your gear, that's kind of brutal because if it does strip, you know, it's over for you. But the good thing about gluing a gear, you're not putting any kind of worm screw pressure onto the axle, and I think he said he measured it and it was like 1.2 millimeters or something was the difference. It was maybe smaller than that. I don't know. But it was 1 point something. And that it puts a bend into the axle. So that's vibration, and if you scale that up, what is that on a real car? Like if you were inside that car and it was that bad out, like it would be vibrating your teeth out. So if you could keep it true, you can keep it flat, you can keep it smooth, you can keep it low, keep everything right. I mean, it should be a really, really close battle. And that's what I like to see. I love to see a little give and take, people giving each other room. Anybody can wreck somebody, and anybody can, destroy somebody else's car to get the win. But in my opinion, is that really a win at the end of it? Because the way I see it, to win, you should be able to be on that guy's door. He should be able to be on your door, and it should be a fist fight to the finish line. But neither one of you wreck each other. And those are the races that everybody talks about. We talking about the glory days of NASCAR. That stuff happened all the time back then. And I think those kind of days can happen again. And in slot car racing, I've seen them happen. Guillermo Sauer 101, 95 for Jay. Glenn Burden 93. That's your top three. Gunner 88, 75 for Nathaniel, and 42 for Gabriel Kirtley. Which I think Gabriel Kirtley's already on the highway to the house because I don't even see his box over there anymore. He gone? Usually he tells me bye before he leaves, but I guess he was in a hurry. Hello, Gunner. Looks like Lanes Raceway might have an early night tonight. Blake, did you figure anything out on the RC track? Nothing new? Well, I heard you and Gabe talking over there. Rules? You like the rules? I know you do.
Just get a little more strict.
A little more strict? Well, it's like I was telling these guys, we gotta get to that point to where somebody pushes that limit, and we have to tip over that limit and then make a new rule. Uh, but I mean, here lately, it's not been bad. Since we stopped the whole rear end shenanigans. Richard Austin says, "What are normal hours on a Thursday and Friday for flat track practice?" So normal hours here at Lanes Raceway would be 5 o'clock when we open up. We close at 9 on Thursdays, and 5 o'clock we open up on Friday, and we close down at 10 on Fridays. But that's normal time. So whenever you guys are coming that week, I think we're changing our hours for you guys so that you guys can come in and get a little extra practice. And the reason we set that is, like I said, we're in a smaller town, uh, and it's mostly adult driven here. There's not a whole lot of kids. With the kids coming during summertime, it's different. We can change the hours up a little bit to a little bit earlier, but while they're in school, there's really no reason to open up until they get out of school. And then, usually they come with their parents. Well, their parents usually don't get home till 4:30 or 5 o'clock. So that's why we just decided to open up at those times. No reason to just leaving the lights burning. But I'll tell you guys, Richard and Shane, if you guys are in town, I literally live less than 4 football fields from this place. So if you guys want to come in even earlier, you just give me a shout. Uh, and just call Lanes Raceway's telephone number. And when you do, and you give me a shout, I'll come down here whenever you're ready. I just don't want to open up if ain't going to be nobody here. But if you guys want to come in, I don't care if y'all want to come in at 7 o'clock in the morning and race all day. I can come in here at 7 o'clock in the morning and open the place up, and y'all can race all day. I don't care. Just like my brother says, everything's for sale at Lanes Raceway, even my time. So if you want to just let me know, uh, like a date that you're coming and you want to come in. Like I think this week we're actually gonna, this coming week we're gonna open up on Tuesday early for a guy. So Richard says sounds good. Have a couple vacation days in March. If I don't go to Florida to race retro, thought I'd come in there for a couple days. Excellent. Yeah, just let me know, Richard. Just give us a shout down here. We'll make up a day with you, and we'll we'll open the place up, and you can come on in and rent some track time. I think there will be enough Friday to open all day. Yes, sir. Yes. I'm guessing this is the Friday around April 12th time. Tuesday, is that for Courtney? Uh, T, Tuesday, who are we opening up early for? Yes, it is for Courtney Allen. Courtney Smith. But yeah, if you guys know the intricacies of running a slot car track, you know that these lights burning in here don't burn for free. So, that's just kind of an accounting way of keeping the electric bill kind of lower. We always keep it around anywhere from 68 to 70 degrees in here. Alan said he is a Cleveland local. Yeah, I do like Cleveland. Cleveland Indians was my favorite baseball team when I was younger. Shane White says that's our super secret spy. All right, well, y'all are going to need it because, I send my spies out too. Gabriel, Randy, Glenn. uh, Cleveland, Tennessee, and he is fast. Good. I can't wait. It's going to be fun. All right, so we are round robin 6 of 8. 3 seconds left to go in the heat, and Guillermo Sires still in the lead, 122. Jay Latham in second, 114. Glenn Burden, 110 there in third position. 107 for Gunner, 93 for Nathaniel, and 42 for the retired Gabriel Kirtley. Run, Gunner, run. What do you mean?
Won't run today.
It won't run?
It's got steering, it don't have no power. Red ESC burned up on it.
Yeah.
Ran
Did
on
you
it.
find that plastic piece?
No.
It was over there on that table. Well, I got ESCs and stuff coming.
That's why I was going to take it late model. I'm buying late model on that open wheel.
Okay.
Scrap
Alan Ingram says I have to jump off. Alan, it was good talking to you, man. I hope to talk to you here soon. Well, we got open wheels and late models coming, and quite a few more parts and stuff coming too. So there should be plenty of it going. Hope to see everyone the 22nd. Oh, I thought it was the 12th. Okay, so I guess I got changed. Okay, Shane White. Okay, guys, I'm off. Time for the big game. See you soon. All right, Shane, good talking to you. I think these guys are about ready for the big game too. What time is it? 5:39. Yep, that's about that time, ain't it? They got this heat and one more. They'll be Super Bowl bound probably. Guillermo Sire been running pretty good lap times here. We have some issues here with the keyboard. It looks like they got lag behind there instead of median. But anywho, we'll get that fixed. I think somebody hit F5 when they was grabbing the keyboard. Guillermo Sire's best lap of 5.6, pretty good. 5.7 there for Gunnar Bender. Gunnar with his new body being a lot better speed-wise. James Decker says they've already done the coin toss. What are we looking like, James? Is it looking good for the Eagles? "16 seconds left in the heat. 140 total laps for Guillermo. 10 laps down, Jay Latham. 4 laps down from Jay's Glenn, 126. 123 for Gunner, and 109 for Nathaniel. All right, and on that red flag, a good time to thank our sponsors, Fairview IT Management out of Owensboro and Bowling Green, Kentucky, and Livermore Subway right next door. 1 second, folks. I got a phone call here. All right, I'm back. So I just got a call from the sick Randy Kirtley. He says he believes that I can click on it to change it to median time. James Decker says they are starting on their 30-yard line and got 4 yards on their first possession and a first down on their second. So starting to look good, I'm guessing. Because it's 10 yards, if I'm not mistaken, to a first down, ain't it? That's how much I know about football, man. I mean, uh, I played a little bit when I was in high school, not much. It really wasn't the highlight of my life, as you know. I never have been a very muscular guy, to say the least. If I was a little bit shorter, I probably would have been a good race car driver. Like old Gunner right there, man. He's built to be a race car driver. Stick him in a race car, he'd probably do pretty well. We are on the final heat here for the evening and the last race for the Four Crowns of 2025. What an eventful Four Crowns we've had all season long. We went through 4 seasons to get here, folks. Winter, summer, spring, and fall, and all these crowns added up to the Four Crowns here now. And it's all coming to an end here. And you guys will be the first to know during the banquet, before the guys even know, who it is that's going to bring home the kingship and who it is that's going to be the Lords of Lanes Raceway for a solid year. We've got to get their pictures made too, get them hung up, and then we're just going to start a big old wall of Four Crowns action. And we're starting it all over again next week in a new series. So if you're looking to get into some slot car action, get into the racing with these guys, no better time than this coming series starting next week. You guys come on in, we'll get you set up, ready to run in that series. And all you have to do to be eligible for the Four Crowns is run in one of the Lord's Crowns seasonal series to be able to run in this. But if you do that, you're eligible. And you can hop right in here with these guys and run. So we see that orange car there, and the thing about it can kind of kick out there a little bit. It's kind of what I was saying earlier. As we're a little bit higher up in the air there, coming up those transitions, those back ends can step out just a little bit more, being a little bit higher off the ground. So going a little bit lower should be a good thing. Lake panel helping with the track marshal in there. 48 seconds left to go. Oh, that's right. Let's see if Randy was right. We'll click on this. Uh-oh, what did I just do? I might have just messed up Guillermo's stuff here. There we go. Lane first, median. There we go. So got to click on the names up there. So clicked on the name there, change it back to median, best lap, lap time, etc. and so forth. With the median of 3.68, he's getting about a tenth of a second on Gunner every lap here. Gunner definitely got a fast car though at 5.601 best lap, 5.3594 for Guillermo. He's humming too. Nathaniel, are they trying to kick you while you're down? All right, folks, that's a checkered flag and a hard hit right there at the end. Guillermo Siren's going to bring home a victory at 164 total laps. 149 for Jay Latham, 147 for Glenn Burden, 145 for Gunnar Vender, 129 for Nathaniel Burden, 42 for the retired Gabriel Kirtley. All right, guys, what a great day of racing. Probably the best that we've had here. Broke another record when it comes to chit-chatting with you guys in the chat channel there. Got some new valuable information for the upcoming Flexi Challenge here at Lanes Raceway. A little bit of a rule change there if you caught that. So we'll get that updated, and that's going to be pretty cool coming up. A lot of things happening, a lot of quick things happening here at Lanes Raceway. Of course, tomorrow will be a very busy day here at Lanes Raceway for me, getting the new live stream and stuff set up. It was a great Four Crowns. I'm glad you guys stuck with us this whole time. Things are developing really good and fast on the live streams. We appreciate you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing. The sharing's been great. The liking's been good. Everything's been good. So we appreciate y'all for doing that, and we want you to do it even more if you can. But thank you guys for tuning in to this Four Crowns. Another special thanks out there, a big special thanks out there for our sponsors of the Four Crowns. Fairview IT Management out of Owensboro and Bowling Green, Kentucky. Thank you guys for sponsoring this, and Livermore Subway. And just like I told these racers, don't forget to get you a Philly sub sandwich, 6-inch, chips and a drink, Miss Vicky's, next door before you go home. Uh, Other than that, guys, thank you for all year of great racing. God bless you guys, and I hope y'all have a great rest of the year as we start this all over again. We're going into the purple. You caught it live. The headset died. But we will be going into the Purple Crown come next week, and that is going to be our Flexi Challenge class, first crown of the year, coming next week. God bless you guys. Thank you for tuning in. This is Donnie. I'll see you next week.